Let's do a little compare and contrast, shall we? We'll take a look at how one government wants to approach these ridiculous leftist ideas of woke terminology and how another government likes to approach these pernicious mind virus like ideas. First, we're going to start with the good example. Teaching white privilege as uncontested fact is illegal, a minister says. Kemi Badenoch, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right because this woman deserves all the credit that she gets by the end of this article. Tells Commons debate on Black History Month that schools must offer opposing views. Abso-friggin-lutely. Schools, which teach pupils that white privilege is an uncontested fact, are breaking the law, the Women and Equalities Minister has said, and she is a conservative, by the way. Addressing MPs during the Commons debate on Black History Month, Kemi Badenoch said the government does not want children being taught about white privilege and their inherent racial guilt. Why should you indoctrinate the young like that with this unfounded and evil ideology? Why are you sowing the seeds of intersectionality, a pernicious idea that only serves to harm individuals? Call it whatever you like. Intersectionality, critical race theory, postmodern neo-Marxism, in tribute to the returned Jordan Peterson, of course. All of this unfounded mind virus has no place in any sort of curriculum anywhere, unless it's being taught as punishment. Any school which teaches these elements of political race theory as fact, or which promotes partisan political views such as defunding the police without offering a balanced treatment of opposing views, is breaking the law, she said. Yup, exactly. If you want to provide these as ideas that are bad ideas to hold, by all means, and then of course say, here's what rational people think, and then go on to say, no, you are judged on your actions, not on by how crippled or how minoritized you are. I don't even think that's a real word, but I'm sure in postmodern vocabulary it is. She added that schools have a statutory duty to remain politically impartial and should not openly support the anti-capitalist Black Lives Matter group. Fucking great. She needs to be in charge in every single country at this position. Honestly, she's the only one doing it right. Whenever you hear that somebody's holding the position of Women and Equalities Minister, you automatically think of that bitch HR lady that you have at your work. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. The bitch who has the fucking charm bracelet and is always pointing it in your face, telling you that you did something wrong by not including the right mix of people in your work group. No, the fucking British Parliament, the British House of Commons are absolutely 1000% right on this. And I said that we'd compare and contrast, and in my home province of Alberta, I love Alberta. I've told you guys this before, and this hurts my heart like nothing else, because I was kind of hoping that we'd be a little bit inculcated from having to deal with this horse shit, and I don't have any kids that are currently in school, and I'm long past the kindergarten and grade 4 phase, but it's there, it's here, and even though it's a proposition, some awful shit like this always finds its way in. But let's take a look. Education experts slam leaked Alberta curriculum proposals. Lessons would make Alberta a laughingstock, education professor says. Well, yes. At least she's on the right side of this fucking issue. Curriculum advisors handpicked by the Alberta government are recommending changes to the kindergarten to grade 4 curriculum for fine arts and social studies. Exactly the courses that you'd think that they would try to infiltrate and poison people's minds. Social studies is history class for you Americans there. That would eliminate all references to residential schools and equity. So they're trying to get rid of the idea that you have to work for what you have. They want to take out the entire doctrine of equality of opportunity and just simply leave in equality of outcome, because that always ends well. That doesn't end with fucking death camps being set up. The advisor also recommended that 7 and 8-year-olds learn about feudalism, Chinese dynasties, and Homer's Odyssey in social studies classes. If they're being taught as terrible failed ideologies, that's fine, and you should be reading the classics like Homer's Odyssey. The drafts obtained by CBC News includes a lengthy list of names, landmarks, and events young children should memorize. I hate that idea of schooling. I haven't done a specific what I think should be done with school curriculum, so feel free to interject with any ideas as well. Memorizing facts like that is fucking useless, especially, well, in today's society, but children should be learned how to think. They shouldn't be taught what to think. And what I mean by that is laying the foundation of questioning and parsing together ideas, instead of being told retarded things like, oh, you need to make sure that you know all the landmarks in your city. No, you should learn how roads work so you can find your way around town. How about that one? Or memorizing the list of Canadian prime ministers instead of understanding the policies that the great ones actually put forward. You know what I'm getting at? Give a man a fish and he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish and he eats for a lifetime. Something like that. They say 5 and 6 year olds in grade 1 should be familiar with the artwork of Claude Monet, Giorgio O'Keeffe, Pablo Picasso, and Edgar Degas. Why? They also say first graders should learn Bible verses about creation as poetry, and fourth graders should learn that most non-white Albertans are Christians. Unless you're going to a specific religious school, don't be teaching stuff straight out of the Bible, and don't be calling, and definitely not creation as poetry. It's a fucking bizarre, I don't want to step on any religious people out there's toes, but creation theory is fucking bizarre. We have science to prove the fact that evolution is, the right way to think. But hey, if you want to believe in creationism, that is totally up to you. If you want to believe in a young earth, that is your decision. And if, like I said before, if they're teaching it as a, here's one idea and here's another idea, that's fine. But you should probably keep that in the religious schools, and you have the choice to attend a religious school if you so choose, if you meet the certain parameters in order to choose up here in Grand Prairie, it's a Catholic K through 12 program. There is a Christian school, but it's sparsely attended, and should learn that most non-white Albertans are Christians. Yeah, tell that to the burgeoning Middle Eastern population that's flooded Edmonton, and Calgary is a very large Sikh community. So you're going to tell me that they're all Christians? That's just a flat out lie. That's 100% not true. And we have a vast Filipino population that is non-denominational. So why are we teaching people lies? I don't know. I'll just leave this fat pig in frame here. Well, actually, all of these unfuckable people. I think that might be a woman. That Winnebago with feet. I'm sure she's just thought she was gaining weight for 9 months before something fell out between her legs. But here's where all these terrible fucking ideas come from. They come from Edmonton, because in Alberta, Edmonton is the leftist capital of our beautiful province. And terrible ideas spring from universities, as you guys all know, and here's proof. Dwayne, why do you gotta ruin such a great name? I'll just call you Dwayne. An associate professor of education at the University of Alberta is an expert, really? You just hand this fucking title out, in Indigenous teaching and curriculum. Oh my god. There's curriculum, and as soon as you add a prefix to it, it immediately makes it less important and less credible. He said he felt, which is a great way that you should be teaching. I feel this way, therefore. Hopeful about the potential for the previously proposed elementary curriculum to better include Indigenous perspectives. The suggested changes erase all of that work, he says. It makes me sick, actually, that we're at this point, said Donald, a member of the Tehachapi Cree Nation. It's never enough for these fucking ideologues. They all want their little inroads in order to teach bad ideas on a wide scale in order to propagandize children. And you know what? Kids have no say in the political outcome, and that's for good reason. Your brain is not even fully formed until you're 25 years old, and you're not legally allowed to vote until you're 18. So why are we attempting to indoctrinate first graders, second graders? No, you're just trying to start the indoctrination earlier and earlier and earlier, and this stuff is repugnant to me. I cannot stand it one bit, because teaching kids to hate themselves, teaching kids these fucking whack ideas uncritically, is a form of child abuse, in my opinion. And that's why I'm so behind when President Trump signed the executive order to ban critical theory. That's why I'm such a big fan of Dr. Jordan Peterson going around exposing these assholes for exactly what they are. We need more of them and fewer limp-wristed politicians like we have here. It's what happens when you have a one-party rule anywhere. In Alberta, it's a firmly right-leaning majority, and with the exception of a 4-year leftist intervention, it's on pace to stay that way. And when you have a one-party rule like this, you have anybody with terrible ideas just signing up to be a part of the blue party because it doesn't really matter what your ideas are. If you have a conservative designation next to your name, you're going to get fucking a check mark next to it, because we don't know who runs for the Liberal Party in my constituency. Know that the NDP is fucking batshit crazy, and everybody else down ticket, I wouldn't even know if they ran me over with a vehicle. I know I'm hearing some rumblings about the return of a true center-right kind of Alberta Independence Party out there, and I hope something comes of this, because the system that we have right now, there is no party that will stand up for what they believe in or doesn't have batshit bonkers ideas like this in mind. So I'll leave it at that. Britain's doing it right. I can't believe I'm actually saying that. And Alberta is devolving into their neighbors, BC, right now. And fuck off if you're thinking that's going to happen. Not as long as I have a say about it. I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you guys to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.